using this. Sometimes you go against here like this, you try to climb the elbow, you bring the elbow back here. You try to climb the leg, you bring the elbow like this here.
One thing that a lot of people do is before they're getting ready for a tournament, they'll try their best to increase their training volume. So they'll go from training 2 times a week to now they're training 4 to 5 days a week. And one thing that has been super important for me is I don't really change the way I train getting ready for a tournament. The problem with trying to increase your training volume before we're getting ready for a competition is that you're going from training a little bit to now training a lot because you're getting ready for a compete, and a lot of people tend to injure themselves in that process. I try to keep myself ready to compete, so I try to keep my training frequency pretty high, maybe usually 5 to 7 days a week. I always get good sleep. I'm always doing conditioning work. I'm always doing strength training to keep my body resilient and keep myself injury free. Casio Wernick is the 2003 middleweight world champion in the IBJJF, and he's also won multiple world titles in the Masters age group. He's been my instructor since 2015 when I started Jiu-Jitsu. He has a really good understanding of Jiu-Jitsu, and he's able to instruct extremely well. And along with that, at his school, Casio Wernick Jiu-Jitsu here in Sacramento, California, there's a lot of upper belts to train with and a lot of experienced people to train with, so it's pretty awesome.
Going on just doing that?
Yeah, because like what I like about this is that somehow the resistance of this is helping me to push my hip deeper, this hip deeper into the back of that socket. So on this side too,
Yeah, coil more.
yeah.
Looks like he's like trying to. This is a technique. It's called wipe the asshole. We've been working on this one for a while.
How you feeling about tomorrow?
Good. Excited. There's, I hate to admit it, but there's this part that just like is scared of losing, which I need to drop. I'm just trying to think of going out and performing well, but there's a side of me that's just like, don't fucking lose, and I need to just continue to drop that shit. It's just in my head, right? But I'm excited, really fucking excited.
Don't not win.
Right? Right? I think actually in my bracket is the guy who beat me by points at Purple Belt Worlds. He just got me in a lapel and then just held there for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the match and beat me by 2 points. Yeah, I think he's in that bracket, so I'm excited. The main reason that I went to the pyramid earlier in the day is just so I could see what everything looked like, so I could see the setting, so that I could understand what I was getting myself into. I don't necessarily like going into one of these tournament situations without understanding what it looks like, so nothing ends up really surprising me. So I went to just go watch how a few matches were being held, how everything looked, how the bullpen was, and the bullpen is where athletes go to kind of chill before their matches, just so I had a mental understanding of what I was getting myself into on the day. I packed up and cooked some steak yesterday, so I'll eat a little bit of that. I'll drink some electrolytes. But I'm gonna keep it light because I don't want a lot of stuff in my system before I compete. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it light because I don't want to be heavy when I go on the mat. Got, about an hour. I'm gonna do some breathing drills, some breath holds. I'll do them now, and then I'll do them again probably 20 or so minutes before. So I actually ended up meeting Alvin around 2, but before we got to warming up, I did some breathing techniques that I learned from Phil DeRue, who we found on the Power Project. These techniques are also in the Oxygen Advantage and the book, The Art of Breath. Rapid breathing, so inhale and exhaling every single second. Maximal expansion breathing to help you fill your lungs with air and then exhale quickly. Breath holds, which will help breathing be easier afterwards. You'll inhale normally, you'll exhale normally, and then you'll hold your breath and walk for as many paces as you can until you need to inhale again. I did that for about 10 rounds. What you'll notice is when you actually need to start performing, you're gonna be able to breathe in a lot more relaxed fashion, and you'll have more capacity as far as your gas tank is concerned. So if you're gonna compete in jiu-jitsu, just make absolutely sure that you get a good warm-up in before your matches. You do not wanna go in cold. When Julian came in, Julian is my training partner from Casio Wernick. He's also a really great coach. We worked a lot of specific type of passes. We worked my guard entries, because I play a lot of guard. And he was very helpful in terms of just helping me remember certain passes that are gonna be super important for a lot of the people that I'd be competing against. My jiu-jitsu game, I try to play like a little guy. So I try to play from bottom. Sounds kind of odd. I try to play guard, sweep, submit. Most ultra heavyweights don't really play guard that much until like the higher levels. A lot of them usually try to stay on top and pass. That's why I try to play the game on the bottom so that I can pretty much pull guard, sweep, and submit. So the first two matches actually went really well. Pretty much in my first match, the guy was a half guard player, but I pulled guard. I ended up sweeping him, played a bit in his half guard. I don't know if I ended up passing his half guard before I submitted him, but I ended up getting an armbar at him at the end. And then my second match against Nathan was a similar deal. I pulled guard, I swept him. He was playing X guard on the bottom. I ended up being able to pass his X guard, grabbed his arm, went for a Kimura, and then the Kimura made him flip over into an armbar. The thing I was really happy about was I was very, very relaxed. My breathing was really chill. I didn't really feel that I had to work too hard in those matches. For the first match, I ended up submitting him in about 6 minutes, and then the second match, I ended up submitting him in about 5 minutes. So Julian was extremely helpful. He helped me warm up at the back before the match, and during my matches, he was actually shouting out specific cues. Coaches can be super helpful in jiu-jitsu competition. In a lot of my competitions over the years, I haven't had coaches there, and when Julian was here, I was able to hear certain cues that he gave me in terms of passing. That was really helpful too. My upcoming third opponent, his name's Elder, and a funny story, Elder actually beat me at Purple Belt Worlds. Julian watched a few of his matches, and he knew that Elder's game was getting into this position called 50-50 and either going for a footlock or an Nsima lock. I didn't see Julian's text, and that game, that 50-50 game, isn't something that I get much into in training. This is why tournaments are really cool, because they can show you where there are specific holes in your game. So what ended up happening during that last match is Elder got to his game faster than I did. I wanted to pull guard, but he got there first. He attacked my arm initially. I almost passed his guard, but then he immediately started attacking my feet. He went for a footlock, and then when my foot ended up near his chest, I didn't necessarily think I was in danger, but that was exactly where he wanted my foot to be, because he did a violent Nsima lock on my ankle, which you'll probably see. I screamed in agony as I felt my ankle pop multiple times, and I also felt a slight pop in my knee, and I tapped. Luckily, nothing was broken, just a slight sprain, which I worked through.
I should have looked at your text. I didn't know you. I
was looking for you, and then by the time Jolene messaged, you were already back where we were at, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm all the way up here. Yeah, he cranked the first two guys footlock, 50-50. Maybe like 2 or 3 minutes in, closed guard, like inverted, 50-50, and then footlocked the fuck out of him.
Even when he had my arm the first time, I was like, oh wow, damn, like cranks the footlocks. Yeah, dude, like I felt like pops in my ankle, and then I almost felt some shit in here. I was like, fuck. Let's see how this is, because like, right, I'm waiting for my shit to calm down so I can see like how much weight I can put on this, because like, I felt pops in it. Yeah, it's not broken. I'm obviously walking on it, but it's definitely not ideal.
Now in these tournaments, there's always your weight division, and then there's the open. So the open is the gold, silver, and bronze medalists from each division can now compete against each other to see who is the open class champion. I wanted to compete in that, but I couldn't really put much weight on my ankle after Elder destroyed it. So I didn't end up competing in the open, but that's something that I really did want to do for this tournament. Sucks.
So you got the last two matches were Nsima, your first two matches?
No, the two first matches in the footlock,
yeah.
the two final matches, Nsima. But it's the same thing, but have a different details. Ultra heavyweight, the guys don't make too much guard, because
your guard's really good.
Yeah,
I like to play guard too, but like you're great on the bottom. Like even when he was passing, but you were inverting, and it was good.
Different game. It's work too much because it's different.
All the guys I've competed against, no one's playing your game, or no one's playing that game, at least in the ultra heavies.
In this game for the medium heavy, heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Because the super heavy and ultra heavy, take it out, pass guard, pass
I
guard.
like to pull guard too, but like you got there first.
I like pace guard,
Yeah.
but the make guard is better because you make not too much, you don't make too much and force because I enter in the legs and make a scrambles.
Yeah. How much do you weigh now?
121.
121?
Yeah.
You remember when we were purple belts, how much you weighed? Because you seem bigger now.
110.
110 and now you're 120?
But
Yeah.
now
How long you been brown belt? Because you might get promoted soon.
1 year and 1 year, 2 months.
That means you have one more year you have to be brown? Or
No, the November I take the black belt in the World Pro
yeah.
for win the cash.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed the match footage, last year at Purple Belt Worlds, or maybe it was 2 years ago in 2020, I lost my second match to the guy who beat me today, Helder. So Helder, good job. I'm coming for you next time. We're gonna go again. That'll be fun. But I got third this time at Brown Belt Worlds, and the goal is still to hopefully at some point win a world title. I hope that any of you guys who are interested in starting Jiu-Jitsu just take the plunge and start. I started almost 8 years ago, and I'm so happy that I did. I'm gonna do this shit for the rest of my life. And if you are interested in starting, just give it a shot, give it a go, start. Follow me for more tips on becoming a stronger human, and I will talk to you guys soon.